Hello students, welcome to e-learning with Divine Public School Navsari. We are continuing with the fourth chapter, that is banking and monetary policy, and in our third lecture we are going to learn about the presence of commercial bank. As in our previous lecture, second lecture, we have studied about the functions, different functions, that is primary and secondary functions of the commercial bank, and we are going to learn here that is how this commercial bank came up. Then we are going to learn about the central bank, what is the meaning of central bank, what are the things which are coming in the central bank, and RBI and its function. As we know that our central bank is RBI, so what does RBI, how does RBI came into it, and how its functions are there, what are the functions of RBI as an bank, main bank in our country. So we are going to learn about these three topics today. Now start with the first topic, that is presence of commercial bank in India. How this commercial bank came up? Mostly you find that this banking sector has been came up with last 30 years, we find. So you find that after economic reform, that is 1991, after the 1991 we find that foreign banks have entered. So many foreign banks, so many different types of banks which have came up, financial, so many private banks came up. So you find that banks made a revolution or made a growth in banking sector. You find that besides this also, you find that financial companies also started with giving this financial loans. They started with banks into the unorganized sector as well as organized money market. So you find that there are different financial institutions who are giving money to the private individuals or businessmen. They are known as, we can say, organized money market. But those who are individuals, those who are private money lenders, those who are one single person is giving loan to this particular thing, so they are come under unorganized money market of India. So this is how you find that different companies have also made or form their capital for giving as a loan purpose, so that they can get higher rate of interest. So you find that this is what is all about. So all those banks which gives a loan, all those financial institution which gives loan, private or public, are coming under organized money market, whereas those individual privately give money to the people for, or the businessmen or the common people, you find they comes under unorganized money market. Now you find that what is the definition. Let's talk about what is the definition of bank, or why we call that this particular is a bank in India. You find all those companies. Why it is called companies? Because commercial banks are made for profit. So all those companies which are listed in the second schedule of the RBI Act 1934. So RBI came into existence in 1934. So you find that in the second schedule, all those who are banks or financial companies which are listing up, you find that they are called as schedule banks. So they are following the rules and regulations as per this act. That's why it is called as schedule banks. Now you find that all those banks which are listed, they follows the rules and regulations of RBI. So RBI gives rules, regulations, what to keep, what not to keep, all the maintenance work, everything is been done by the RBI, and they follows, all the banks has to follow this particular command. So this is how, as we have learned in the definition of central bank also. Now let's talk about the scheduled banks. So scheduled banks in India are being classified like this. Like this is a scheduled bank. You find that it is divided into two parts. First part is commercial bank. So let's talk about commercial bank. In commercial banks, you find there are public sector commercial banks. You find that public banks are there, state banks are there. So all those government banks comes under public sector banks. Then after you find that private sector commercial banks, those like HDFC, Axis Bank, all these private sector commercial banks came up. Then after you find that foreign banks in India. So if we find there are many foreign banks in India as well. You find that Bank of Scotland is there, Bank of America is there, you find HCBC, that is Hong Kong, and Shanghai Bank. So all these different countries banks are also present in India which are working. So they also follows and comes under this commercial banks also. Again you find that there is regional banks. Regional banks are those Grameen banks, or we can say rural banks, which are there. All these rural and Grameen banks comes under regional banks, because it is limited to the villages only, or rural areas only. That's why these particular types of banks, these are being divided. Commercial banks are divided into four parts, that is public sector banks, you find that state banks, you find. Then after private sector banks, you find that is HDFC, Axis Bank, you find. Foreign banks are there, you find that HCBC is there, Bank of America is there. So all these banks comes up. And regional banks, that is all the Grameen banks which you find, so there comes. And lastly, what is the second type of scheduled bank? Second type of scheduled bank is cooperative banks. So you find it Surat People Cooperative Bank, then after Navsari People Cooperative Bank. So like this, district wise cooperative society has made up their bank, and for their giving facility to their own members only. So those type of cooperative banks are also available. So this is how you find that scheduled banks are divided into our country, and this is how it has been found. So there are two types, basically commercial and cooperative types of scheduled banks are there. In commercial there are again four types, that is public sector, private sector, foreign bank, and regional bank. So you have to just remember this particular chart. Then comes central bank. Now what is central bank? Central bank is, you find that as earlier seen in our definition, is an apex bank. So here let's see about the definition. So RP Kent has given the definition of central bank, that is the institution charged with responsibilities and managing the expansion and contraction of the volume of money. They has the responsibility of what? They try to keep on checking that how money is contracted and expanded, how the volume of money is going on in the market, for the public, for the general public welfare, how this money is working. Either it is going well, it is contracting, the supply of money is more, it is expanding, or it is getting contracted. So if in a market, in an economy, whole economy, market not, but we can say in economy, India is an economy, we can say. So in Indian economy, you find that RBI controls the supply of money, and it takes the responsibility that money should goes on in the India, as well as you find that foreign currencies also, you find that all these particular functions are there with RBI. So the value of rupee, as well as you find that in terms of another countries, as well as you find that the money stability, you find that contraction and expansion of volume of money, managing that particular money so that public will get the general public can also get that particular welfare. Then after you find that what definition we learn, that is this, that is central bank is an apex bank. It is, we can say it is a characteristic, it is an apex bank. Why it is apex bank? Because it's a banks of bank, it is a topmost bank which is there, and RBI controls all the particular scheduled banks, or we can say commercial banks. So RBI is an apex bank of the country, whose function is to aid, that is help, then after regulate and promote, these three, that is it helps regulate and promote the entire money market. So how money flows in the market, it controls, it regulates, it promote, as well as it helps those who are need, as well as banking sector also. And you find that as well as to maintain this financial stability, main thing is money stability, or we can say financial stability is to maintain in the overall economy, so that we find it is good for our nation. If suppose a rupee value reduces, you find that our economy is going down with compared to the another country. So RBI take control that our money should not get depreciated, nor you find that money stability should lost. So it try to go with controlling all this particular thing. So you find that central banks functions are this, but what central bank does the country India have? We have Reserve Bank of India. So that's our next topic, that is Reserve Bank of India. So let's see how it came into the existence. You find that the central bank of in India is known as RBI. Yes, every country has a central bank, and every country have different central banks, and their names are different. So for our country, it is Reserve Bank of India. Then after you find that Reserve Bank of India was established in 1st April or April 1, 1935. So it became the bank in 1935 under the RBI Act. Before 1 year, that is before 1935, 1934, RBI Act was being given up, and on the basis of that act, they have started on 1st April 1935, that is RBI, Reserve Bank of India, with a private paid up capital. It was a private bank that time with capital funding, That time in 1935, the capital funding was 5 crores as a private bank. So this is how that particular bank started. But after independence, you find that RBI became the nationalized bank, and it was nationalized on January 1949. So January 1949, it became the nationalized bank, and then after you find that it became the main bank. Now RBI became the apex bank of India, which supervise means it check all over and regulates the entire means the whole banking sector, as well as you find the form. It try to formulate the monetary policy, means it try to make different money policies so that the money of India gets circulated in a well developed manner. It helps to develop the Indian economy. So different policies, money policies are being made. So this is all made by whom? Not by the banks. Many of them are made by the RBI. So RBI became the apex bank, and it is a centralized national bank. It became nationalized in 1949, and it is under the RBI Act, that is 1934, and was established on 1st April 1935. So don't get confused, the act is 1934, it was established in 1935, that is 1st April. I hope you have been clear with this. Now let's talk about the function. What are the functions? So let's see the functions of RBI. You find that there are monetary function. Monetary means money function. So money related functions, it is currency issue, bankers to the government, bankers bank, and the lender of last resort. That is, you find that it is a bank of bank, that is bankers bank, and lender of last resort means at the end, if any money is been missing out, or last source of money, if you want, government wants or bank wants, the RBI will give them. Then after credit control, the function, that is money control, how loans will control by this particular thing. Then after custodian for foreign exchange reserves. Then you find that non-monetary, that is non-money functions are, that is regulation and supervisory function. So it try to regulate and supervise as a main bank, like a manager to the different banks. So you find that then promotional functions are there, and financial inclusion and development. So how does these are the financially it helps and develop the economy. So this all are the functions, that is monetary function and non-monetary functions of RBI. Now let's study this monetary functions in detail. First monetary function you find, that is currency issue. You know that all the notes which are been issued is not issued by the banks, but it is issued by whom? It is issued by the RBI. So you find that it is having the sole right. It is only the one. Sole means one. So one only, it is the only one which has the right to issue the notes with the domination. Domination means the starting from the rupees 2 and above. So what about rupee 1? So all the rupee note starts from 2, 5, 10, 20 and so on. You find it is under the control of RBI. So what about rupee 1? Rupee 1 and all the coins, the currency note of rupee 1 and all the coins are issued by whom? By the Finance Ministry of Government of India. So by the Finance Ministry or by the Government of India it is been done, but it is under the control of whom? RBI. RBI does not issue the coins, but it is by his guidance only the government Finance Ministry will issue this or mint the coins and issue the currency notes. You find that those notes have been prepared by Finance Ministry of India, but it is been supplied again by whom? It has been distributed by RBI only. So all the coins and rupee notes are being supplied by RBI only, but only the minting is being done, that is coin making is being done by Government of India, that is Finance Ministry, Government of India. So this was the first one, that is currency issue. Second, you find that banker to the government. Now as we have our accounts in our banks, so banks becomes our like banker. So for government, who is the bank? So for government, RBI is a bank, because their records, their money control, their monies, everything is been saved in RBI. So you find RBI is a banker, advisor as well as agent of the central government. So our central, as we find there are state government and central government. So central government, their accounts are been ruling or been coming to their accounts are maintained by whom? Maintained by RBI. As well as you not only central bank but all the state bank governments accounts are also maintained by RBI. Then after you find that what all the things the RBI manages. It manages the government bonds. So all those government bonds, government accounts, currency notes, coins, rupee one note, and different loans which are provided to the government or for the government. You find all those things are being managed by whom? By the bank, that is RBI. So that's why it is called, it is a bank of government. RBI is a bank for whom? By government. So whenever government is in deficiency, you find that RBI will suggest, or RBI will give them different issue money by selling its security, government securities, to the commercial banks. So this is how it works. Then after you find that the third point, that is bankers bank. So it is not only bank for government, but it is a banker for different commercial banks also. As I have told you that it is a apex bank. So apex bank means it is a bank of bank. Like our bank is like, we have different accounts. So bank have their accounts in RBI. All the banks which are there in India, they have account there is in RBI. So RBI regulates and control over it. As well, it is a lender of last resort. So you find RBI is a banker and regulator of all scheduled banks, as we have seen the chart. That is scheduled banks, in that all the private, public, regional, you find foreign bank, as well as you find that cooperative banks. All these banks comes under this. And then after you find that it regulates the money, it keeps the account for the bank, as well as you try to measure, manage the cash reserve. Now cash reserve means you find CRR. It try to give order that this much cash reserve ratio should be maintained by every bank. It determines how you should give your credit, that is how you should give your loan, as well as it gives direction to for credit policy, loan policy, different policies. Lastly, it helps to identify the bank rates of all the bank. So it helps to give us the bank rates. So it depends on the RBI. All these banks, all these private and government banks who are giving different rate of interest, so they have been accountable to the, they are accountable to the RBI. They give their different documents, everything to the RBI, and RBI checks, and it gives that proper guidance that what should be their credit policy, what should be their cash reserve ratio, what should be the rate of interest should kept for the public as well as for the different businessmen. So all these things are being regulated by RBI. Again, you find that if suppose there is an emergency, whenever there is an emergency case of funds required, you find that it becomes the lender of last resort. So lastly, if no one has money, RBI gives the money. So it becomes the last resort for all the scheduled banks. If scheduled banks are not having money, RBI will give them money. So it is called lender of last resort. Then after you find credit control. How credit is controlled? You find that money supply in the market. RBI controls the process of credit creation and money supply in the economy with the help of various tools. There are certain various tools. There are different tools or instruments where RBI controls the money, these tools which we are going to learn further in the chapter. But there are certain rules where you try to control the money supply. Main thing is RBI controls the money supply. If the economy is going in the inflation rate and you find that there is a lot amount of money supply is there, so you try to go with then taking some of the policies, some of the tools, so that the money supply will become less. If economy is in depression, or we can say it is in depression, like this situation, RBI try to raise the fund. RBI try to go with increasing the money supply in the market by different policies or different government rules and regulations. So this is how RBI go with supply of money by contracting or by expanding, depending upon the situation in the economy. Then after you find that custodian of foreign exchange reserve, means it becomes a security for foreign exchange reserve. So all those foreign reserves which are coming in India, so all those payments, or we can say receipts, money which are coming from foreign, are being stored in RBI. As we have seen import export procedure, how this particular foreign monies are being paid, like how this businessmen try to pay their foreign money, or they try to convert their foreign currency into the Indian currency. So this helps them. Again, RBI maintains the value of Indian currency. Yes, it try to go with every day maintaining the value of Indian currency. How that is by buying and selling the foreign exchange. So whenever there is a surplus money in the hands of RBI, what they try to do, they try to invest this money in the foreign currency, and then after they try to purchase this foreign currencies in the open market, and you find that whenever there is a requirement of money, they try to sell that particular foreign currencies in the market so that they can raise fund for the economy. So this is how you find that RBI try to maintain the foreign exchange reserve and maintain the price stability. Again, you find the RBI acts as a custodian, because all this money reserves are being kept by whom? By the RBI. So it becomes a custodian, it becomes a security guard or a guardian for keeping our reserves in India. That is all the foreign currencies reserves in India. Then after you find that RBI has the responsibility of maintaining the value of rupee. Yes, it try to maintain the value of rupee in terms of other currencies. Yes, you find that at a fixed rate of regime. Regime means policy. Fixed exchange rate policy is been taken up and it has been fixed, and at that rupee only, at that price only, you find that other currencies are getting exchanged. It is not every day it has been RBI is try to change them, invest the money. No, it is at a fixed rate they try to change that. If so and so is the price, if the dollar price reduced to 68 rupees, then only they will invest this much money. And when there is a requirement of money, and if today you find that 75 rupees dollar is there, $1 75 rupees is there, that time if they want to raise money, they will sell the dollars and they will get 75 rupees per dollar. So this is how this particular it works. So when, and it is not established from now, you find it has been established from 1934. So from that time they have maintained the foreign reserves. So you find that every now and then when the government has surplus money, so they try to invest this particular into foreign currency. Again, you find that as well as this try to maintain the value of rupee. RBI also checks the inflow and outflow of foreign currency here. So it try to check whether there is an inflow of foreign currency is more, or outflow of foreign currency. Like most of the time we have seen that more of foreign payments we have to done in India, and rather than foreign currency comes in India, because our exports are less than imports, or imports are always more. Because of that, you find that we try to have lack in foreign currency, so that particular inflow we need to maintain. Then after non-monetary functions, so we have completed the monetary functions, and now we are moving to non-monetary function. In that there are 3 points. First point talks about regulatory and supervisory functions. It try to regulate, it try to guide as well as supervise them. It try to give guidelines as well as it try to supervise them. Who? RBI. But to whom? That is bank and government. You find that RBI supervise the functioning of entire financial and money market. Financial and money market means all the banks which are there in India in the economy. It try to put control over it, which includes branch expansion. Means if one bank is that they want to go with expanding their branch in different cities or districts, so you find that they have to take permission from RBI. So that RBI will see whether the situation is good or not, what is that particular village requires, needs or not. All these things are been there, and then the branch expansion is done. Then after you find it looks for the method for working scheduled banks. So how scheduled banks are running up, what are the methods, what are the policies, rules and regulations are been going in the scheduled banks, like different commercial, private, public or regional or foreign banks. You find that all things are been looked by RBI. Again, working of, we can say, non-banking financial companies. So those who are non-banking but they are financial institutions, like we try to get, businessmen try to get financial monies from different institutions. So that working, how it has been done, by the non-banking companies. Then after you find that working of cooperative banks. So how this cooperative banks gives the different benefits to their members by establishing bank, and what are the working going on. So all these policies, all the different scheduled banks, cooperative banks, private banks, methods of keeping money, rules and regulations, and all the things are maintained, guide, are taken care by, we can say, supervised by RBI. Second function is about promotional function. Now how it promote, how promotions are being done. Now promotion is not job promotion. Promotions means here RBI tries to create banking awareness. Yes, because you find that in current situation you find that we are not aware. Like, at this present moment we are aware, but if you talk about last 4 or 5 years ago, or we can say let's talk about 10 years ago, the people were not aware for this. So you find that people were not having their bank account. So here RBI try to create banking awareness among the people, encourage banks expansion in rural areas. Mostly in rural areas we find that there are less amount of banks. People are not trusting with the banks and all those. So they try to create awareness that the banks, their monies are safe in the Grameen's or rural banks. As well as they promote setting up cooperative banks. Yes, why cooperative banks? Because cooperative banks means it feels like we are in a cooperative society, and you find that their members will get equal rights, and they have special benefits if they are investing their money in the cooperative banks. So people will have interest, and cooperative is usually for the different cities like Surat Cooperative Bank, Navsari Cooperative Bank. So all these are there. Then after you find even today many people in India does not have bank account. Yes, if you see our population 130 crore, more than 130 crores of populations are there, and you find that still many of them does not have their bank accounts. As well as you find that we have find that certain business transactions are done in cash rather than check. Like most of the money should be gone, if you're running a business, it should go with bank, but you find that or checks, but it is been done in cash. So that again it becomes a problem, because more of people are dependent on unorganized market. Yes, because more of people are in feel safe or feel like unsafe for bank and rather than with the individuals. So they try to take money from the individuals, that is the unorganized market, whenever they require. So it becomes again a problem. Then after it becomes difficult, because of all these things you find that it becomes difficult to ascertain whether what is the exact value of money, or we can say difficult to calculate the national income. So this was the promotional activities. Lastly, so RBI makes efforts. RBI will make efforts now and then every time for more and more people to get organized money market. That is by entering into, or by opening their account into organized money market like banks. So their scheduled banks are there. So people in rural areas, Grameen areas, different places who have not bank accounts should go with entering into bank account. So these are the promotional activities which have been done by RBI, so that people will not get cheated by the unorganized money market. Then after you find the third point, that is financial inclusion and development. So what are the financial inclusions? RBI continuously make effort for banking sphere. Yes, RBI is making that all over the country you find there should be a banking system to reach each and place, every village, every town. It provides special credit facility for priority sectors. Some of the sectors like agriculture sectors, small scale industry, they have different credit facilities which is not given to individuals. Yes, so for them different credit policies are also formulated. Self-employment peoples, traditional and cottage industries who are going with, so they require finance, and for them there are different credit facilities which are given by RBI. Then after you find it also makes efforts to increase information flow and enhance awareness regarding banking among the masses. So lastly, it try to put efforts more and more to provide different information, different bank rates, different things, so that people try to earn, they try to save their money they to deposit into the we can say scheduled banks, and more supply of money can be generated. So this awareness is been done by the RBI, so that people will masses means lot many people will try to open their accounts. They try to go with that so that they can go with development further. So this was all about our three types of non-monetary functions of RBI. So we have completed the functions of RBI, and it is very easy. We find that most of the things we know and most of the things we have don't know and we have learned today. I hope you have been learning at home, revising it. I will give you today questions and you need to write down that particular about same for this today lecture. Like, what are the functions of RBI? Explain in detail. So like this questions can come into the examination, so you need to go with what are the like. So for that you need to write this particular whole topic, that is functions of RBI. Define central bank. So define it comes means you have to write the definition as per we can say Kane definition. So this is how. So define then after list out the types of scheduled banks. So these are the three questions which I'm giving you today to write, so that you can learn, practice, write, and it creates better clearance for your topics. I hope you are being clear with this. If you find any doubt, any problem, just message me. Thank you.